Today is Wednesday, December 30th, 2020. Long ago in the 1960s, also referred to as the Stone Ages, and far away in the village of Cullman lay the tiny hamlet known as Westtown. There, among the four-way stop signs on every street, 2 blocks from Old Lady Stapp's store, 1 block from the landmark substation, across the street from West Elementary School, and nestled among the many Liegable houses, incorrectly pronounced Liegable for over 70 years now, stood the modest home of J.W. and Easter Norton. In the home resided an older perfect child, Stormy, and 3 sisters, the older, Kathy, the middle, Mary, and the baby, Connie. There also lived a friend across the street, Lana, who was adopted by Kathy, Mary, and Connie as a 4th sister. The older sister, Kathy, enjoyed tormenting the middle sister, Mary, and enlisted the adopted sister, Lana, to join her in the taunting. Their favorite trick was simply to stare at Mary. No words, no gestures, just staring. This unnerved Mary, and she felt tortured by the 2 silent older sisters. The baby sister, Connie, was in turn tormented by the middle sister, Mary. Mary allowed Connie to only watch as Mary and neighbor Darlene Brooks played Barbie in the fancy Barbie dream house, which, because Connie could only watch over the cardboard sides, began to have bite marks all along the top edges. Mary also issued an edict that Connie would never win the neighborhood beauty pageant, nor would Connie be allowed to play any role in the Munsters other than Eddie or Spot. I know, it was awful. Stormy decided the 4 sisters were just too much to deal with, and as his girlfriend Pat had finally gotten over the pictures of former girlfriend Ida and had married Stormy, Stormy lit out and joined the Air Force and kept in touch by sending home military service portraits in which he looked a lot like Elvis, or so Lana always thought. The years went by and the sisters thrived in their own ways. Kathy, who first started out on the straight and narrow path by becoming a prestigious safety patrol member, went wayward and became Episcopalian. Horrors. Lana, who was the darling of her mother Lucille, soon began to disappoint when she pursued a life of crime by getting caught rolling yards in Cullman. Connie, tired of being a beauty contest loser and Eddie Munster, began to talk to her dog Tiny and became friends with all the local frogs, salamanders, tadpoles, worms, and snakes. Mary spent her days performing Patsy Cline songs atop the picnic table, anointing herself to be the one-woman safety patrol squad, using the checkered flag that she had gotten from Birmingham Raceway, and running from Connie, who had discovered that Mary was afraid of frogs and snakes. This undoubtedly contributing to Mary's later success in track and field events in Cullman Middle School. When it was time for the 4 sisters to grow up and leave Cullman, several options were available. Kathy and Lana could go on the road performing the episodes of I Love Lucy that they had memorized. Connie could be a snake handler, and Mary had the option of being another Patsy Cline or becoming a teacher where she could boss around kids like she did all the kids in Westtown. The girls settled, however, and alternate careers were pursued. Lana became a land baron, which she continued to be until the duties of being a land baron got old, and she could no longer stand harder like O'Neill wanted her to. Kathy preferred to become a hippie, but after numerous careers at Justin Boots, Shoe City, professional coatings, massage therapy, and nurse, she settled on a career as quilter extraordinaire, furniture painter, porch sitter, tree mover, and chicken babysitter. Connie still handles snakes, talks to dogs, takes delight in embarrassing her dogs by putting them in little outfits, teaching some biology on the side, but has finally found her dream job as Facebook Marketplace buyer emeritus. Mary masqueraded as a teacher for several years, but found her calling babysitting grown men at Southern Company. She is currently retired and has finished Netflix. The best part is that in their later years, the four sisters stopped tormenting each other and found that, unbelievably, they actually liked each other. The trials and tribulations of life had dealt them many blows. Prince Charmings that turned out to not be Prince Charmings. Wild teenage kids, hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, unsightly moles and warts, leaky bladders, snoring, even though Lana swore for years that she did not snore.
Y'all always lied about that.
Constipation, diarrhea, vertigo, arthritis, artificial knees and hips, gray hair, glasses, tinnitus, broken ankles, food poisoning, etc. The four sisters began to love each other fiercely and to rely on each other as they never had. Now the four sisters cannot imagine life without the other three. And that, my friends, is how the four sisters began to live happily ever after, and why their Christmas gathering each year is the best and most special part of the year.
Yes.